Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels.
Lori here.
Today we have a video. We're interviewing Jim Cook. He's an historian down here in Mexico. He has written a blog, and it's a great blog because it will be able to help you travel through Mexico, and also you'll get a lot of history. So he spends a lot of time writing these blogs. He takes photographs also. And we use the blog when we're traveling around Mexico.
Yeah, his blog is very help if you want to traveling in Mexico. Every town it have history.
Yeah, and so all you need to do is go onto his blog. You type in the town, let's say San Miguel de Allende or Puerto Vallarta, or wherever it is. And if they have been there, they're going to talk about that area. They're going to give you suggestions on what to see there, and the museums, restaurants, and hotels. But mostly they're going to be talking about the historical part of that area. So come with us, and we're going to go meet Jim now and do this little interview.
Yeah, come with us. Don't be shy.
Don't be shy. Jerry Brown here with Jerry Brown Travels. And I want to introduce you to Jim Cook. And Jim, what's the name of your blog?
Jim and Carole's Mexico Adventure.
Jim and Carole's Mexico Adventure. And I'm excited about interviewing Jim today. And we're going to grab a couple chairs, sit down and get a little relaxed, and then we're going to do a little interview.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. And Jim is a historian. He is a writer, and a very good writer. And he's created this blog here in Mexico. And I want to share how the blog can help you, even if you don't come to Mexico and you want to learn about the history of Mexico, or if you do come here and you want to use it as a tool as you travel around. So I want to ask Jim, hey Jim, now what got you interested in writing a blog in the first place?
A labor of love in the sense that I really enjoy sharing my experiences in Mexico with other people.
Okay.
I have a list of about 800 people that I send out regularly to, and I mean I have about 10,000 visitors a month to my blog.
Okay. You know, our viewers can have a better understanding of the blog. How would, let's say, somebody comes here and they're on your blog and they're traveling through Mexico, how would that tool benefit them?
Well, each blog posting has an average of about 20 photographs.
Okay.
And with commentary under each photograph of what you're looking at, and I set up the photographs kind of to tell a story. Whether it's the history of whatever's I'm showing, or the architectural background of something. And so when I do a blog, particularly on a city, for example, like San Miguel de Allende, I will consciously set it up so that people can use it to explore the city. So it will include not only photographs of interesting things to see and do, and explanations of what they are, but there'll be map links.
Okay.
Sometimes maps directly in the blog posting itself. Right. And there'll be all sorts of other links that will take you to additional information.
Now, I know when I travel, we like to carry the Lonely Planet, and so I'll go through there and I'll see, you know, what we can look at and stuff like that. Now, yours would be more in depth then.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go so much into things like where to eat and where, which hotels to stay in and that kind of stuff. Right. But in terms of what to see and do, there'll be quite a bit of information, often more than what you might find in something like Lonely Planet.
So you may find a secret little spot, and then you'll talk about that little spot.
Yeah.
And then you have photographs that traveling through Mexico, you know, how extensive have you in 10 years? So I imagine you have covered quite a bit of Mexico.
Anywhere from the central Mexico on down to the Guatemala border.
Okay.
Mexico is a very, very diverse country in terms of its geography, in terms of its climate, even in terms of culture. And something.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, so there's a whole chain of colonial towns that run across Mexico. Now, I imagine you've been to all of those. What would be some of those towns that we go along?
Well, that what you're talking about is what they call the Camino Real, the Royal Road. I mean, I mentioned San Miguel de Allende before. There's Zacatecas. There's Morelia. There's San Luis Potosí. Every direction. In most Mexican cities, from Mexico City on down to some very, very tiny pueblos, the layout is very similar.
Okay.
You'll have a plaza in the middle with whatever the main church is there, whether it's the cathedral in Mexico City or some little tiny 16th century mission in some little town. You'll also have whatever the local government building is, and then you'll have a little commercial section around with kind of an arcade. And and then the town will have grown out from around that.
Okay.
And it's generally, ever since the 16th century, they've been kind of laid out on a grid pattern.
Again, for our viewers that are going to come and travel through Mexico, and what would you recommend as the colonial towns?
Well, it's hard to beat Mexico City. I do like the mining towns because they're so picturesque with building up the side of the mountain. Then you have someplace like Morelia or San Luis Potosí, and the architecture is wonderful. Mexico has done a fabulous job in restoring and recovering a lot of the old architecture, sometimes from as far back as the 16th or 17th century.
Wow. Traveling through Mexico and stuff like that, how are you doing that? Are you using a car? Do you use a bus? Typically, what do you guys do?
All of the above.
Okay. Okay.
If it's beyond what we feel comfortable driving in a day, then sometimes we might take one of Mexico's wonderful long-distance buses.
So apparently, you feel it's safe to drive in Mexico?
Well, I've been driving all over Mexico for 10 years, and we've never had any problems.
Okay.
Anywhere.
So somebody coming over and they've got your blog post on it, and one of the things that's great is if they carry it on their phone and they're actually at a site,
iPad,
and they can actually read it as they're looking at a pyramid or a colonial town, and use that as a tool to I use your blog that way. Well, Jim, one of the things that I personally like about the colonial cities and stuff like that, I think there's a good portion of the world that misses out on the interior part of Mexico. A lot of them think they need to go to the beach. And hey, I want to introduce you to Carole here, and we were just having breakfast behind us here, and he came up and he recognized myself. Now,
your hat.
The hat, yeah. Okay.
And your face.
Okay. So you've seen us on YouTube?
Absolutely, yeah. I watch all the videos as they come out. Always find them helpful. I enjoy the different places that you review, and I also like the budget aspect of it too, where you give an idea of not only what things are nice and so on, but what they might cost.
Yeah. So it's, we like to let people know, the bigger picture of what Mexico is. It could be a 2-week vacation, it could be a year's worth of living expenses.
But it's always interesting to see what's affordable, what's not. That's important when you're considering a place.
Okay, great. Thanks, Carl.
You're very welcome.
Appreciate that.
Thank you for the videos. Tell Lori the same. And keep up the good work.
Thank you. Excellent. Excellent. Well, you got a chance to meet Jim Cook there and see his blog and what he does. And I think that our viewers will get a lot of value. Go on that blog real quick now and take a look at it. And also make a little comment down there and tell Jim that you saw him on our YouTube video. And that will encourage him, as it does us when you subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, subscribe.
Thanks a lot. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye-bye.